Booster Course Wave 5 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is here, and we're checking out all changes and differences made for the returning courses. The third race of the Feather Cup is Wii Moonview Highway. Speeding along a lakeside city road under a full moon, this track boasts a flashy downtown district with many signs, a twisty cliffside pass with alternate side routes, and a tunnel with many dash panels, all regulated by toll booths bearing the track's name. So how does the most recent update differ from past installments? Let's find out. Moonview Highway in Mario Kart Wii was filled with busy traffic along the whole track, with multiple lanes and a side ramp on the right alternate path by the lakeside. Tourist traffic eased up quite a bit and became more consistent, not offering much in terms of new features. For Switch, this model was updated with a second side ramp in the lake area and randomized dash panels in the city. There are many other minor differences between each version. A handful of these are gameplay changes. The entire course was compressed vertically during Tour's update, affecting a few key spots to a minor degree. Along the full circuit, the vehicles have had some of the most notable tweaks. Originally, they all would speed up in the city and change lanes, with explosive bomb cars really mixing things up. For Tour, the traffic became lighter and stuck to the same speed and lane. The standard car types also were altered, matching those of Berlin Byways 3, with the trucks swapped out for those sporting modern sponsors. And while you no longer could be flattened by the vehicles, it became possible to trick off the bomb car. That doesn't seem to be an option now, though. Meanwhile, green shell taxis patrol the road, replacing all but the red cars and PTT trucks. Surfboard pickups were added too. The first bank just beyond the starting line became noticeably less steep in Tour, but higher fencing could be seen here and around the area. At the top of the left cliff, a new ramp was added for Switch, complementing the other on the right side that was tweaked a bit over the years. Ever since Tour, the highway guardrail just past the left cliff has started a bit later, extending much further up to the Kanami Road by the lake. In the city, several dash panels were added or moved to new positions for Tour, including the last set, which was adjusted for the shortened area by the toll booth. These dash panels now appear arranged in a somewhat randomized pattern per race, much like the elements of Excitebike Arena, making this the first track of the Booster Course Pass to do something like this. Neat! Expectedly, the number of aesthetic changes is significantly higher. Surprising to no one, there are the general texture, lighting, and mild coloration differences between the versions. And the minimap now shows the alternate paths near the start. Headlights shine like in Wii after they're being inactive in Tour, and even the light of the moon is reflected on the lake again, albeit differently compared to the original. The moon itself has had a distinct look for each iteration. Distant crags beyond the lake in Wii disappeared for Tour. Oh look, a canoeing Yoshi and Shy Guy rode out to the middle of the lake. Sadly, they are gone in 8 Deluxe. Background trees and plants were removed or arranged in Tour. Cliffsides were smoothed out, a shoreline replaced the greenery by the lake, and all lampposts were restyled. Plants now are in different spots once again. Many pavement markings, the tire scuff marks on the banks, and standard road symbol signs were removed from the track for the Tour renovation, as well as Night 90, Blue Precaution, and Danger bomb car signs. However, sponsor billboards were placed all over the road outside the city. The lane marking has been simplified since. Over at the starting line, the gate-like banner was redesigned, first having a classic font on checks adorned with 4-point starlights, set on a gold frame and topped with lamps. This switched to a silver frame without lamps in Tour, holding a sign with the modern font displayed in dot matrix, with bulbs around the border that cycled through colors. The 40x4 checks making up the starting line were reduced to 23x3 in white and 2 shades of blue as well. For Switch, the lights are static green and purple. Up to the bridge in Tour, orange reflectors were installed on the guardrails. These now are blue and yellow, and more reflectors were added near the starting line. Various elements of the bridge, including the lights, were updated for the mobile redesign, and the waterfall became taller comparatively. The waterfall is more realistic now, and the lights don't flash anymore. Additionally, the bridge seal was redone with vertical grooves, and the square grating turned diamond-shaped. More reflectors were mounted along the railing after the bridge. Above, colored floodlights pierced the sky from the city first in Tour. They became more focused since, scanning the area, and a metal plate was placed just before the first toll booth. Various tweaks were made to the toll booth elements for Tour's revision, most notably the LED sign that stopped scrolling. For Wii, this had a moon rabbit, representing the mochi-pounding rabbit on the moon in Japanese culture, on the back of the first toll booth and the front of the second. Tour changed this to a yellow-tinted heart instead. Other modifications would include the repositioned traffic lights in an updated style, the removal of the caution bands, and the bar style of the boom gate switching from single to double. Sometimes, the gates would open without being triggered by a vehicle. And the Mii toll booth operators from the original were swapped out for Yoshis and Shy Guys in Tour and given a new set now. Entering the city, we see that windows on buildings were reshaped, assigning one hue per structure. Color-changing aviation lights were put on the corners of the buildings too. Matching lights could be found along the roadside barriers, replacing the red and green star lights from Wii. Here, the Shy Guy and Bowser Jr. faces were erased. New bar lights were installed, and the gold stripes at the base were made white. The chevron style of the strip under the ads and beyond was modified. Such LED signs and windows were recolored for Switch. Windows also were arranged differently again, with some even displaying a different design on certain buildings. The aviation lights don't cycle through colors anymore, and those along the barriers that match them are completely gone. Ads all over here were substituted with a new set in Tour, although some remained similar. The Mushroom Moon poster had 3D art of Peach, or a cosplaying me when driving as one, and Mario turned into 2D art, while Petey Piranha was swapped out for Bowser. Nearby, the 8-bit Mario sign with question mark blocks moved to the left side. Its two pipes were removed, the sprites became still, and an exclamation mark block replaced the green fuel box. A similar modification was made to the matching 8-bit sign on the other side of the street. The dividers in the road were tweaked the same way as the bridge seals, and they were updated again like that for 8 Deluxe. Meanwhile, the overhanging framework was remade for Tour's facelift, with its arrow signs no longer scrolling. At the tunnel entrance, X and down arrow lights were installed, which usually are for toll booths. Are these in the wrong place? The lights inside the tunnel were redesigned, and fans, cables, and a door on the left were added. Now the topmost lights are different, and all fans spin clockwise. There's just a bit more to go. Some auditory changes exist, such as how the sirens in the city in the original were silenced forever with Tour's update, and all other track-specific sounds had disappeared. For Switch, the car horns can be heard like in Wii again, but only in the opening and when being hit by a vehicle, not when in their line of sight. And the toll booth gates have returned to using the same sound effect as in Wii, rather than the air horn from Tour. Lastly, an owl could be heard in the opening, along with distant traffic. Who would have guessed? The music for Moonview Highway is a hyper-jazz fusion, with two variants based on the area of the track, normal for the highway by the lake, and city for the urban streets. Synth prevails for the normal version, with some breakbeat flavor. The original has a chromatic riser in the intro, with an exclusive drum fill leading to the A section, which contains an organ melody and synthetic percussion. A sawtooth leads the B section before the A section repeats, this time with more staccato transitioning to the loop-ending bridge. That gets things pumping. The city version leans hard into the old school contemporary jazz, filled with soprano sax, vibes, piano, and acoustic drums. In the original, the intro is the same, but the A section gives alternate instrumentation and feeling, with the sax seeming more like a clarinet. This is a nice variation, but it's not fully realized. The switch arrangements for both versions really kick it up. For the normal variant, a soft noise riser accompanies the synth stabs in the intro. A subdued lead and a prominent dance beat fills the A section, with the drum fills altered or moved. The B section has a stab-kick combo, while the finalizing bridge features synth toms, with a riser joining the stabs and drums back to the start. It's catchy, but we saved the best for last. The city variation uses jazz instruments for the intro, having no riser but starting the reimagined bass line early. Congas join the acoustic percussion, and a brassier sax starts the A section. The piano uses different chord forms, with the brass counterpoint restructured, growls included. A funky guitar on the left joins the vibes, soon adding new brass accents and changing the phrase-ending lead notes. The A and B sections repeat with mild alterations, like how the piano counterpoint is replaced by brass. For the final bridge, the staccato notes differ, all ending with a unique drum solo. Now that's a suave reflection of the metropolitan nightlife. And that's about it for all changes we found in Wii Moonview Highway. The course may not be as hectic as the original version, but the path options and randomness of the boost panels provide their own excitement, along with the balanced accessibility. But what do you think? Have you found any notable changes that we missed? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Booster Course Wave 5 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and other things Nintendo too. Thanks for watching! Until next time, ciao!